Mission start!
Run and gun, waddle and throttle, bonk and honk in Mighty Goose. Welcome back, gamers. I'm TinyGuard, and I'll be your Game Pass guide. Mighty Goose is a run and gun game about the #1 bounty hunter in the galaxy. This girthy goose lives to fight evil and has a new target in his sights, the Void King. A run and gun is just like it sounds. Run to the right, gun down the bad guys, dodge the bullets. Each button presses only one shot, so be prepared to get arthritis by the end of the game. The button mashing adds to the frantic nature of this genre, but you can change this in accessibility options if needed. Mighty Goose has a solid foundation of tight shooting and movement controls, and builds on it with other mechanics like a dodge roll, just like Dark Souls. The dodge roll can be combined with the jump to fly through areas and reposition very quickly. Shooting downwards in the air allows you to hover slightly, but isn't entirely useful unless you focus your build around it. In the Armory, you can customize your builds with chips that enhance your current kit, like making hover shots more hovery, or grant new abilities like a morph ball. Here you can also choose your secondary weapon, such as a grenade, or a honk, telling your enemies that peace was never an option. Finally, there's companions to bring along with you, like a regular duck. Commander Vark is the second companion you get, but I used him for basically the whole game. Partially because he's a little cutie pie, but mainly because he gives you a reliable stream of weapon upgrades.
Machine gun!
It's typical in run and guns for your base pistol to feel lackluster. This really allows your weapon upgrades to shine and feel like a big upgrade. Vark drops machine gun ammo regularly, which throws off the game's balance a bit, but makes you feel mighty. I think this companion is a good microcosm of this game's design philosophy. Mighty Goose wants you to steamroll it and feel like a badass the whole time. Getting a machine gun upgrade feels badass, so why not feel that more frequently? Of course, I can't leave out the mechanic that makes you feel the most powerful, Mighty Mode. Dealing damage fills your mighty meter and allows you to let loose the goose. Fire rate and damage are enhanced, letting you mow down minions with ease, become invincible, and watch enemies melt under your foul fury. Dealing damage during Mighty Mode extends the duration slightly, encouraging you to perpetuate the cycle of violence. While this is incredibly fun, it's not the most challenging game. Classic run and gun arcade games like Metal Slug were focused on high skill gameplay and were more punishing, so they could get you to put more quarters in the machine. Continues in arcade games were the first microtransactions. Mighty Goose has distilled what is fun about the classic run and guns and brought that to the surface, without the money gouging structure of the arcade or unforgiving lives like in Contra. Instead of getting one shot by every bullet, you have a small amount of HP and plentiful health pickups. If you die, there's frequent checkpoints throughout the mission. The game is divided into small missions instead of having to marathon through it all start to finish like Metal Slug. Although that's what I did because I was having so much fun. Each mission gives you a score ranking at the end, so you can chase that S rank if you're looking for more of a challenge. After beating the game, you unlock New Game Plus, which is essentially hard mode, but it honestly feels easier than the first playthrough because you've amassed powerful chips and an overpowered secondary weapon, so I found myself S ranking each stage more easily in what was, again, supposed to be hard mode. Maybe I'm just like a god gamer, bro. I had a lot of fun with Mighty Goose, but it has a different appeal than a game like Metal Slug. Metal Slug feels like a game you get better at, building your skills and testing your reactions. Mighty Goose feels like Metal Slug on easy mode. It ups the pace with a more frenetic atmosphere and faster movement. Bosses are easier and less bullet spongy, and there's more cool explosions. Wow. That was fucking cool. I've been comparing this game to Metal Slug a lot because that is this game's main inspiration. You can see this in the general style of gameplay, the design of the war machines, and weapon upgrades.
Heavy machine gun!
Mighty Goose wears many of its inspirations proudly, from Megaman's blaster, Metroid's armor and ball mode, Mad Max's motorbike convoys, and even Gurren Lagann's mecha. Metal Slug has some advantages over Mighty Goose, with the ability to fire diagonally and more visible enemy projectiles. The most common complaint of Mighty Goose I've seen is that it's almost impossible to see enemy projectiles, and I'd agree. There's just so much going on screen that it all starts to blend together. Coins flying everywhere and bullets the same color as explosions. The action goes slow-mo somewhat randomly and throws off your timing in the flow of combat. Of course, Metal Slug slowed down too, but that was from the old software collapsing in on itself and struggling to maintain frame rate, not from an intentional design choice. You can fix most of these issues with the accessibility options on console. For some reason, the PC Game Pass version doesn't have the options to turn off slow-mo or highlight enemy projectiles like the console version does. But if you really want to turn on easy mode, use the shop. The game never tells you there's a shop, but you can access an item shop on your phone and spend coins to buy certain weapon upgrades or vehicles. Vehicles take damage before your goose takes damage, so you can essentially use these as extra HP, or lives if your goose is about to be cooked. I don't really recommend this, it kind of felt like cheating, but it is an option. Mighty Goose is great fun for a playthrough or two, but I think Metal Slug is a game I'm more likely to play over and over because the tryhard in me wants to get good at it. I played Metal Slug 3 countless times in the arcade as a kid, so I know the nostalgia bias is strong. However, for newcomers and generally modern gamers, Mighty Goose is a better introduction to the run and gun genre, precisely because it is easier. Plus it's just so silly. Metal Slug never took itself too seriously, and Mighty Goose really leans into that goofiness. It has a cartoony pixel art style with some great enemy designs. I mean, seriously, just look at this normal minion. I want to play a whole game with this as the main character. The companions are cute and can be used in co-op with a friend. The music shares the same cartoonish charm as the art style. It has all the energy and power of a Metal Slug or Megaman soundtrack to drive you through firefights while cleaning up some of the grime on those tracks. It sounds more cheery and peppy. Metal Slug's music reminds you that you're special forces. You're the elite of the military. You're a red meat eating, cigar smoking, certified bonafide badass. Mighty Goose's music reminds you that you're a giant goose that's somehow on an action cruise throughout space, blowing up everything in your wake, and everyone knows you're a neck above the rest. This might be a stretch, but Mighty Goose is like if Metal Slug and Kirby had a baby. All the gunpowder blasting of Metal Slug with the chubby cuteness of Kirby. The developer describes Mighty Goose as a short and sweet experience. Mighty Goose took me about 2 hours to beat normal mode. This game is proof that games don't need to be long to be good. Most Metal Slug games were only about an hour long anyway. I had a much better time in those 2 hours than many 40-hour AAA games. There's also about 30 minutes more content coming in the free Waterworld DLC announced for future release. So take a gander and find out why Goose games should have a title. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe for more. And if you discovered me with this video, hi, I'm TinyGuard. I review games on the Game Pass. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. You've been watching TinyGuard, and I'll see you in the next one.